Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today, I have with us, he's the director and writer of an amazing short film that I had the pleasure of seeing, and it's called Bodega Bay Witch. I have with us Kyle Prescott. Kyle, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hey, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You too, man. I love that fucking statue in the background, man.
Which one?
The girl in the background, is that from The Exorcist?
No, that's from the Bodega Bay Witch. That is the
Oh,
witch.
that is the witch. Holy
That
shit.
is the
Holy
witch.
shit. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Horror Room, man. So tell everybody real quick about the Bodega Bay Witch.
Yeah, just an elevator pitch. Guy goes camping. He goes deep in the woods, kind of get a little break from life, and stumbles upon where a witch does her rituals and stuff, and bad stuff happens. So,
So what gave you the idea for the story?
um, I would say because I guess there's not a lot of witch movies out there, and the ones that are out there, you don't really see the witch.
Yeah.
Like Blair Witch, I don't think you ever see it, and The Witch that came out a few years ago, I don't think you really even see it. So just kind of wanted to make my own and where you actually see it. So that's kind of what got the ball rolling. So
Now, production wise, how long did it take you to film this movie?
2 nights.
2 nights.
Yeah. Well, one day shot, and then the rest was all at night. So
Now, it's an amazing movie. Now, and it's a short film. Now, at any point, did you think about, hey, I wonder what this will look like as a full feature length?
oh yeah, definitely. But I just wanted to get a short out there. Just to This has been been in production, or at least been thinking it up for quite a few years. But life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And finally just got everything together and got it done. So, but yeah, I would definitely make this into a full picture. I haven't written the sequel, but I already have it brewing. I already know where I'm going to go with it. So, but yeah, it was fun.
Now, you did an amazing job in something that I feel like it's hard for a lot of indie horror short filmmakers to do, and that's hit all of the key points and wanting the audience to want more and also feel somewhat fulfilled. Is that something hard to do to hit all those notes? And in the full length feature, you have time to expand the story, but is that something hard to do when it comes to a short film?
Uh, I would say it is and it isn't. Even like I'm sure you've seen the Lights Out short film.
Yes.
It was like that's like 2 minutes long,
Yeah.
and it's just so quick. Um, but yeah, I really, um, yeah, I kind of paced it out good. The first half, he's just walking along, and then the second half, like it's just one after another, like it's just nonstop, and I love those. I love that kind of horror style. So
And you brought up the Blair Witch. I'm a huge fan of the Blair Witch.
okay,
You don't get to see the witch, which
yeah,
is a little upsetting. But I but like I love a good witch story because dealing with, like you were saying, you don't see that as much. A good witch story done right can be fun because I mean you're dealing with not only the physical, but you're also dealing with the spiritual, the psychological, and all
oh
of
sure,
that combined is a mind fuck.
oh yeah. No, and you can kind of hear it. I added a little some whistles into it, like when he's sitting at the campground and you hear whistling in the background. That's
Mm-hmm.
like what actual witches do. And one of my friends in Texas, he's had interactions with them, and they whistle at him. So I always remembered that. It's like I got to add that into the short film. So
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you do any researches on witches while you were coming up with the story?
Just from my friend, just the few interactions he had, and then I think like I watched an episode of Expedition X, and they did something on witches, and they're like, "How are they gonna know when it's nearby?" And they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be whistling at us." I'm just like, "Oh well, perfect. I have to add it now." So yeah, but not a ton of research. So that was pretty much it.
So, like, I'm pretty sure you've always been a horror fan. I've always been a horror fan. But like most horror fans, you never get to that point where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I want to make a horror movie. What made you decide, you know what, I want to go ahead. This is what I want to do. I want to make horror movies.
Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a horror fan. Um, I'm currently in LA. I grew up in Northern California, actually, really close to where we filmed the movie. Um, I moved down here, just kind of figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and started helping a couple of my cousins shoot movies and music videos. And I had the AMC pass, so I go see every horror movie in theater, and I watch a ton of them. Just like, you know what? Why don't I make my own? So that's kind of what got it going. So
So I have a two-part question for you. Right now, when it comes to, I would say modern horror, whether it would be in the theaters or in when it comes to indie, what is the first part of the question is what is something that you are excited about that you're like, wow, horror is fucking knocking out of the park right now in this area, and what is one thing that you're like, damn, I wish they could do better.
oh, that's a tough one. Man, I think the last horror movie I saw in theaters that I actually really enjoyed was Talk to Me.
Yes, great movie.
I love that. I know they have another one coming out, Tarot. I think that comes out next month. Um, I really like those style movies. It's not over the top, but it just makes you feel uncomfortable.
From beginning to
Um,
end.
yeah, yeah, um, yeah, and then something I wish they do better. Uh, stop ruining original titles. You know,
Yes.
with Blumhouse and the last few Halloweens and The
uh,
Exorcist, and it's just, oh, stop. you know, it's kind of driving me crazy. So,
is there a horror franchise that you, for in particular, that you wish, you know what, please stop making their movies, don't do any more reboots, I'm done.
definitely Halloween.
I'm the same
Yeah.
way, and I'm wearing a Halloween T-shirt right now. But
And I
like
got the poster right there. So,
yes, and Halloween in 1970 is my favorite horror movie, and like the 2018, I fucking love that. But like what they did afterwards with that, it's like I don't want to see another horror. I don't want to see another Halloween movie
yeah.
probably in my lifetime. I'm just done between the zombie remakes and those. I think I'm good with Halloween.
Yeah, the first Halloween that Blumhouse did, it was fun. It was
It
a
was.
fun movie, and then Ends and Kills is just like, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, it was just so hard to watch, and then, you know, they pump out the most horror movies,
Yep.
which is good and bad because we get to see new ones, but you kind of cringe a little bit every time you see that come up, but you see their name, but I know they just started a partnership with James Wan, so hopefully he can help them out. So
Yeah, because Blumhouse is a 20 to 75. I said you see Blumhouse, and it's a 25% chance that the movie is going to be amazing and it's going to be a great movie. But there's that 70. You get the black phones every once in a while, and you'll get the 2018. But
yeah,
you get you even get one like Freaky, which was a surprise for me. But then you get all of the shitty ones, like and like, but what happened was somebody was explaining to me. the way that Blumhouse does it is they accept everything and they just push out horror movies because they know that horror fans are going to go see it, and they make these movies for little to nothing, and they know that these movies are going to make profit, and that's all they care about is the movies making profit.
Oh yeah, yeah. They especially already established franchise, Exorcist, Halloween, or even was it the Five Nights at Freddy's, the video game. They already have a following, so they just make a movie. And horror movies are pretty cheap to make, and they're just guaranteed money makers. So, but I like that. I like that 25-75. That is very true.
It is definitely 25-75, and and I love A24, but I feel like A24 is pumping out so many fucking movies, and I feel like I hope they don't go the way of Blumhouse, because as horror movie watchers, we anticipate that an A24 movie is going to be something. It's going to be an indie horror movie like a Talk to Me. It's going to be like an X or a Pearl. It's going to be something that we never seen before, but it's going to be something grimy and indie. But I mean, they pumped out shitters like fucking Men and stuff it's and I hope. I hope that like A24 slows down and becomes a little more selective on the projects they take as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want them to be successful, but I hope they just don't become like Blumhouse and just pump out stuff and become corporate and kind of lose sight of their original plan.
Now, talking about pumping stuff out. Right now, there's a huge influx in indie horror movies being made. Listen, there's a lot of first-time movie makers. Now, I mean, you look at streaming services like Tubi, even Amazon, Plex. It's filled with indie horror movies. Do you think that's a good thing and a bad thing?
I would say it is good and bad, because some of the indies, they may not be that good, but I love that independent people can get their name out there. All it takes is for one producer, director, whoever, just to stumble across something and say, hey, I like that. Let's see what they can do with a budget. So I like that aspect of it. Is really anyone, even myself, can just make a little movie, and you never know what's going to happen. So,
do you feel like it's flooding the market? That because anybody can make a movie now?
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, you can just shoot a movie on your iPhone and use a editing app and get some friends and make a movie. Yeah.
Because I'm not a filmmaker, but I can imagine, like, if I was going to make a movie right now, I don't think I would do horror, because it's so. How do you stand out, especially as a no budget indie filmmaker or any horror filmmaker? How do you stand out? Because there's so many. I mean, listen, this is my channel is devoted to it. There's so many indie horror filmmakers, and there's some great ones out there. But there's a lot that, I don't know. I just feel like they're just making a movie just to make a movie.
Yeah, that's the problem us horror fans face. I think I saw a meme of it and said, when it shows someone smiling, it said a horror fan after they've gone through 100 shitty movies and they finally found one.
Yeah,
it's like that's our life. Yeah, it's and I feel horror is definitely the hardest genre to please, because you get some people that, like, I love Hereditary. You get people who hate that movie. You get people who love Babadook. You get people who think it's really bad. It's like, it's just, it's a hard crowd to please.
I've ran into people who loved Halloween Ends, and I'm like, what? Okay. Like,
I mean, hey, you like what you like, but
yeah, I mean, It's not the worst horror movie I've ever seen, but at the same time, it was just a letdown because I was like, and this is how you decided in this trilogy? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and they hyped it up so much, and it's just all bad.
Yeah. I mean, there was to me. I mean, there was no good parts. The best part in the movie, which is the saddest part, was in the beginning where the little boy fell down the West. I mean, that was like, whoa, what the fuck? But everything else in that movie, it was like I did not know where that movie was going. I really did.
Yeah, and the best part of Halloween Kills was I thought was the opening scene where he's fighting all the firefighters.
Yes, I mean that was literally.
Other than that, evil must die tonight. It's just like, yes. Oh, what are we doing? God.
Here's something. Now you're a filmmaker, and I'm an audience. I'm a horror fan. I feel like a lot of horror movie filmmakers insult their audience intelligence. Like they make movies and like a Halloween Kills, like we're supposed to believe that. We're supposed to believe that Michael Myers was able to go in there and wipe out a whole fucking group of firefighters, and then you get to Halloween ends and he loses a hand-to-hand combat to a 70-year-old woman.
Yeah,
I just feel like a lot of filmmakers now they want to insult the audience intelligence on like, hey, well, don't just believe anything. We'll just go and toss us in. And like, it's kind of frustrating watching horror movies when I see stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's very frustrating, and especially like the old slashers, like they always just do dumb stuff that you would never do. It's just like, come on, don't go in there, don't do that. Like, it's just kind of repeating pattern. So,
but the biggest problem with me, and this might give me some shit too, but at least you go back in the 80s and 90s. At least like the final girl, she is defeating the killer with her brain. She's outsmarting him. She's setting up traps and this and that. It just frustrates me now. Like I just watched recently the Suka sisters. I don't know if you know them, but they're two sisters and they make indie horror movies. And they made a sequel to the original Night of the Living Dead, George A. Romero. And I forgot the name of it, but like it was like you're expecting me to believe that there's grown ass men there and they're getting overpowered by zombies, but these two little frail teenage girls are able to fight off 20 zombies. I mean, I get what y'all are doing, women power, girl power, and so forth, but like, is that believable to anybody?
Yeah, I mean that was kind of my biggest issue with Walking Dead. Like all the zombies walk. Like you really like it was hard for me to believe that the military wouldn't be able to take that over, or even like if it was the zombies from 28 Days Later. Okay, yeah, we'd have some problems.
Yeah,
but they just walk slow, and like if you get cornered, you're kind of screwed. But they're not going to run you down. Like I don't like that unrealistic part of the horror genre.
I agree. All right, so Kyle, listen, I'm gonna shoot over. I'm gonna ask you 3 random horror questions. You ready, man?
I hope so.
All right. What iconic horror character do you feel like you relate to the most?
Oh, iconic character. Oh, I don't know if I relate to any of them, but talking iconic wise, I mean, I even as a kid, I grew up loving the Friday the 13th. So I would say Jason.
Jason?
Yes. Yeah.
I always say Michael Myers. Listen, I'm not killing anybody, and I didn't grow up in that kind of situation or anything, but I get where Michael Myers comes from. Dysfunctional family, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I kind of get it.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Second question is... I'll shoot it to you. What is one horror movie that people say, oh my goodness, it's the greatest horror movie, I fucking love this horror movie, this and that, and you're like, I don't see it.
Oh man, there's a lot. One that they think is great. Oh man, I I think I watched one of yours, and you talked about how much you liked Midsummer.
Yeah,
I am not a fan.
you're not.
I am not a fan. No, yeah, I know. You're asking me questions to get in trouble here.
See, but I feel the same way about Hereditary. People say, "Oh my God, Hereditary was the greatest thing." Hereditary was not a bad movie at all. It wasn't. But I don't people the way people talk about it, it's like I'm like, oh wow. I personally thought Midsummer was better. I'm not saying Midsummer was the greatest movie. I personally thought it was a better movie than Hereditary.
Oh no, that's I don't think it's a bad movie either, but
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't do it for me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Terrifier, of course, everybody knows that's mine. I don't understand why. Terrifier 2, I like Terrifier 2, but the original Terrifier, I don't understand why people talk like that was the greatest horror movie of all
I
time.
don't understand it either. Like I couldn't even finish it.
I couldn't even finish it. Thank you. I couldn't finish it either. I mean, I could not finish it. It was that fucking bad.
Yeah. It was
It was
like
that fucking bad.
you almost had to be really terrified of clowns for it to be scary for you. Like it was just over the top and it's like
There
really?
was no story. There was no story. There was no nothing. It was just a clown running through killing people.
Yeah.
So I
Pretty
don't
much.
understand why people love Terrifier 2. I kind of understand, but Terrifier 1, I don't understand why people enjoy that movie.
And it's just it's such a huge cult hit. Like it's unreal.
And you talk to anybody who likes Terrifier, they will tell that series. They would tell you it's the greatest horror series ever. Like, and it's like, okay, now you're going a little too fucking far now to say. The Terrifier fanboys and fangirls are like, it's like a cult following, which I appreciate that, but it's a cult following. You can't say anything bad about those movies, and those movies are the greatest horror movies ever made.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And the final question is right now: if Blumhouse backed up a Brinks truck to your house right now, and they said, Kyle, we'll give you $10 million right now, and you can reboot any iconic horror movie under the Blumhouse brand, which one would it be and why?
I would say The Fog. I mean,
Oh,
I even have the poster right there. So I love the original. I grew up kind of close to where they shot that, which is actually not that far from where I shot my movie. And the remake that they did, and I don't know however long ago, it was so bad.
It was bad, yes.
It was that bad, and it's like, I mean, So that's one I would. That would be the one I would do.
So, would you keep it close to the original as possible, or would you try to add your own spin to it?
I'd say a good mix of both. You know,
Okay.
Some remnants of the original, and then you got to have something new in it as well. So, but yeah, that would be a fun one.
Good choice. All right, Kyle, where can everyone find you, my friend?
Instagram, Creepy House Pictures, and Creepy House Pictures on YouTube. Just search the Bodega Bay Witch, and that's where it's at. And I got a couple more films I'm going to shoot this year too. Sweet. So we're getting the ball rolling.
I can't wait to see. Everybody, listen, go down to the description. I got the link to the YouTube channel. Please go ahead and check out the Bodega Bay Witch. It's a fun, little fucking creepy fucking movie, man. That's
what I was going for.
Yes. Kyle, it's been a pleasure, man. Listen, come back on. When you got other projects, I would love to have you on.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Rim. I'm Travis Bruce. That's Kyle Prescott. We'll see you next time. Take
Thank
care.
you.